Hey guys, I'm Andrew Longfellow and I'm here to review the Galaxy Note 8. In my opinion, the greatest phone ever made. Um, I'm coming from a Samsung Galaxy S6 Active, and so it's been 2+ years since I've had a brand new phone, and so it's been quite refreshing to have this phone. But my big problem with it is that it's all glass, which is amazing to look at, but not amazing if you drop it. So if you want to stick around, I will tell you everything that I know about the Note 8 and whether or not you should upgrade your phone for it. I just wanted to break down the screen of it. This thing is gorgeous. It is the most beautiful thing you'll ever see. 6.2 or 6.3 inch screen, edge to edge display. Um, it's just beautiful. It's the brightest screen I've ever used before, and the phone I was using previous to this, I had to have the brightness up all the way. This thing, no problems, no problems. Out in the sunlight, you turn it all the way up, you're going to be burning your own eyes, so it'll be like you're looking at the sun. So if you ever have an issue with screen brightness, this thing is the one to get. This phone has 6 gigs of RAM, which makes it one of the fastest phones you can get, especially just upgrading in AT&T or Sprint or something like that. If you're not buying an unlocked phone, 6 gigs of RAM is a lot, and this thing is blazing fast. It just kills. Everything is gooey and smooth, except for when you go to access the Bixby screen, which like right now I don't use it. I would rather have the Google launcher and use Google Now, but the Bixby screen is not great. But this thing is just blazing fast, so if you're gonna have a phone for 2 years, you want the fastest phone. So by the end of the contract, or before you can save up enough money to buy the brand new phone, maybe you want to look at that as a big factor, because you're gonna have it for 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years. So it's having 6 gigs of RAM is gonna be future proofing it. So if you're buying a new phone, the thing you want is a great camera, especially if you're switching over from an iPhone. They have really good cameras. Every phone has a great camera. The Galaxy Note 8, it's got the double camera, which I've tried using it. It's okay. I really haven't been able to get a perfect shot from it. And just in general, it takes me a couple of pictures to get the picture that I like the best, the one that I want to share on social media. So for me, it's not better than the camera that I came from. Even though there are 2 cameras, I think that makes it a little more difficult. I have been able to get some great pictures out of it, but it's just taken me a long time to get it. Whereas sometimes I just want to pull up my phone, take a picture, and just be done with it. And I'm not getting that from this phone. I don't know what the issue is with it, but I also have problems with low light. Anything low light, we went out to see Christmas lights and took a couple of pictures, and it didn't perform like I wanted it to perform. And it kind of sucks. I know I don't have the best camera eye, so I'm not an authority on it, but as just a regular consumer, I feel like I should be able to get a good picture out of it, and I'm not getting that. I'm sure some people can, but I have yet to do it. So the battery life on this thing is amazing. Other reviews I know have talked about it not being that great, and maybe to other brand new phones that I haven't tried out, it's not as good as those, but this thing, for having a 3300 milliamp hour battery, it's great. When you turn the screen off, you expect to have the same amount of battery as when you turn it off when you turn it back on, and that is there. If you go to sleep at night and you have 50% battery life, you'll have 48, 49, 50% when you wake up in the morning, and it won't be like a tricky 49% where you turn it back on and it's actually, when you start using it, then it jumps down to like 30%. It won't be like that. This thing is amazing. I have the brightness at around 50% just because the screen is so bright. So I think you can get by with this phone without having any kind of backup charger, anything like that. And if you do have an issue with battery life, just plug it in. 30 minutes and you're like pack up. Like you're gonna be good for a long time. The S Pen on this thing is amazing. I know some people will tell you that this is just a Samsung SA Plus with a pen. It's not just a pen. This thing, if you use it like it should be used, it's amazing. I think it's just like a mouse for a desktop computer. It does a lot of little extra things that just make using a big phone or just using a phone in general much easier. If you're never going to be on a computer, there are some things that are really difficult to do, like grabbing text. You know, copying, pasting, that sort of stuff is really difficult sometimes with your phone or with your finger, trying to just pinpoint exactly where you want to get it. This thing is no issue. The only issue I have with it is the button. It's not really laid in there perfectly. So when you're just fumbling around for the button, it's hard to just, oh, I want to do this, click the button. You can't just click the button. You have to kind of look for it, feel with your finger just to make sure you're on it. Like if you're trying to erase text, you use the button. There are a couple other things you use the button for, and it just makes it a little more difficult. I wish they put something on it, indented it more, something so you knew that you were actually pressing the button. So for like, usually when I'm using it, I try just to keep my finger off the button, position it so I'm not touching the button, just so I know, okay, it's over here. Plus sometimes when you're pressing on it, you might accidentally press the button and you're writing something and then you deleted it. Oh, whoops, you deleted it. So now you kind of have to go back and do it. And there are a couple times where I wrote a word down, accidentally pressed the button, deleted the last letter, wrote it, accidentally deleted it again. It's pretty quick just to press, easily pressable. So yeah, I would also recommend using this thing all the time. So a lot of people hated on the pen, so I decided to just use it every day, all day, for everything I do, and I found some useful things for me specifically that I liked using it for. So one thing is Clash Royale. I play Clash Royale. Sometimes placing troops or anything in that game with your finger, it's not pinpoint accuracy. With this thing, you can get it exactly where you want it. So for gaming purposes, it actually worked out really well for me. I'm sure some games it won't work for, but you just have to see. Also, you can click it, which not so much useful, but it passes the time. It's a little fun thing that makes it cool. In closing, guys, I think this phone is more than just a Samsung SA Plus, $1,000 version of that. It's really not. It's its own thing. It's not as rounded as the SA Plus. There are a lot of things that make it different, and I think it's something you should look to upgrade to. I think for AT&T, it was like an extra $3 to get it per month, which is what I'm on. I've got the monthly plan for it. So if you're doing that sort of thing, I think it's useful to know that. So over the course of time, it's really not that much extra money. As far as the camera goes, that's the only thing I'm bummed out about, but I'll take some time to actually get into it, take more pictures, figure out. I'm probably just messing something up with it, but so this thing is super fragile, all glass design. So if you're really thinking about a case, I like the Spigen rugged crystal. Super cheap. I think it was like $11. I have a review for it, so if you want to look down below, you can find that and just check that out, see what I think about that. So yeah, I mean, I think overall, this is the phone to get. If you're iPhone, if you love iPhone, sure, that'd be great, but this thing is gorgeous. People will take notice. It's great. So thanks, guys. If you would like to subscribe to me. I plan on doing more reviews as I get stuff in. And then I also plan on doing a lot of tutorials on the S Pen, edged panel, apps to get for the edge panel, a whole bunch of different stuff that you should be interested in. So yeah, thanks guys.